Form 5471 does not by itself create a tax liability. It creates a reporting duty, and the penalties attached to the failure to report. That is why an unfiled Form 5471 can cost more than the tax on the income it reports. It is the information return a United States person files to report an interest in a foreign corporation. 9 categories of filers exist, and they do not share a single test. Some turn on how much you own. Some turn on what changed during the year. One turns on nothing more than serving as an officer or director while somebody else crossed a threshold. The headline penalty is $10,000 for each annual accounting period for each foreign corporation. That is Section 6038, subsection B. If the failure continues more than 90 days after the service mails notice, another $10,000 is added for each 30-day period, capped at $50,000. The maximum is therefore $60,000 per form per year, not $50,000, as it is frequently summarized. The dollar penalty is only the first layer. Section 6038, subsection C, separately reduces your foreign tax credit by 10%. That reduction rises by another 5% for each 3-month period after the same notice window closes. For a taxpayer relying on foreign tax credits to avoid double taxation, the second layer can exceed the first. Categories 2 and 3 rest on a different statute, Section 6046, and their penalty lives in Section 6679. Where the omission also understated tax, Section 6662 applies a 40% accuracy-related penalty rather than the usual 20%. For separate exposures can follow one unfiled form. The assessment question has moved, and this is the part most articles still get wrong. In Farhy, the tax court agreed with the taxpayer in 2023. The D.C. Circuit reversed that in 2024. On February 27, 2026, the Second Circuit reached the same conclusion in Safdieh. 2 circuits have now held these penalties accessible. The availability of that argument now depends on which circuit you would appeal to. There is also a clock that never starts. When information required under Section 6038 is not furnished, the time to assess tax on that return does not expire until 3 years after the information is finally provided. A return from a decade ago that should have carried a Form 5471 is generally still open. The catch-up route is the Delinquent International Information Return Submission Procedures, which remain available in 2026. You file the delinquent forms with a reasonable cause statement attached to each one. The procedure does not promise abatement. Penalties may still be assessed in accordance with existing procedures. One caution that is easy to miss. The parallel program for a missed F-bar was eliminated effective July 1, 2026. The Form 5471 procedures survived that change. The F-bar program did not. A taxpayer with both is now working 2 different tracks in the same catch-up project. These figures are statutory maximums, not expectations, and reasonable cause remains the more durable defense. If you hold an interest in a foreign corporation and are not certain the form has been filed, review it before the service raises it. Tax Expert Today.